Hey, Johnny.
Hey, you see, so many friends want to ask you how to play ukulele.
정말 나는데.
Yes. And you see the girl, beauty.
전화 좀 차는 팅클랑.
Okay.
쿵클랑 혼자 좀.
Yeah. Ready. So now, we answer.
자,
Okay, let's go.
谢谢. Okay, so we have a question from Zonghua, and his question is, how do we get a good sound when we use our thumb? Okay, so basically, our thumb provides the thickest fingernail on our hand. So the thicker the nail, the warmer tone we get. So I'll demonstrate. I'm going to use my pointer finger, which is a thinner nail, and I'm going to use my thumb. Okay, so it's very important to understand the difference in sound. Okay, and when you use your thumb, basically when you pick, you want to rest on the string below and pick straight down like this. Okay, not like this. Don't try not to bend your hand like this. Okay, just straight down and rest on the string below. And the reason for that is when you pick straight down, the string vibrates like this, which is very good because it never touches the fretboard. When you pick this way, the string vibrates this way and it hits the board, so you change the sound. Okay? So here's a good exercise. Put your 4 fingers underneath the ukulele, put your thumb over the circle, and go through all 4 strings like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now just think of 3 strings. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Think of 2 strings. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and finally 1, 1, 1. And that's how that's how you get a good sound when you pick and use your thumb. Good luck. See you later. Alright, Howie, how are you doing? I think I remember you. You're the shutdown girl, right? I think you played at one of the campus, the workshops. So thank you for asking the question. Nice to talk to you again. So your question was, I guess basically the difference between picking with 2 fingers and picking with 3 fingers. Okay? Besides the obvious of 2 fingers and 3 fingers, mainly what you want to focus on is the control of the sound, okay? Because if I use my thumb and I use my other fingers, the sound changes, right? So I think it's good to try to practice using different fingers, but you should make sure that you work really hard and focus on trying to get the same sound. So if I pick with my thumb like this, and I pick with my index finger like this, it's a similar sound. Okay, if I'm not careful, the sound changes. Okay, and that's not a good thing to have in your playing, so you want to work on keeping it consistent. Basically, to do that, what you should do is just pick a little bit softer, okay? Pick a little softer with your index finger and pick a little softer with your thumb, so you get more of this kind of sound. So when you pick a little softer, it stays a little more consistent. But that's a good idea. I normally don't use my middle finger too much. I use it more for arpeggios. So for example, if I'm playing an arpeggio with 2 fingers, I might do something like this. Okay. If I use my middle finger, I might do a different arpeggio that looks like this. So there's many different styles of playing, and basically I guess the obvious thing to notice is the more fingers you use, the faster you can hit each string. But still, you have to learn how to use it properly. So good luck with that. I hope that helps. But for now, in the beginning, like I would say, just take 1 finger at a time. Don't try to learn how to use 2 fingers. Learn how to use 1 finger first. Then try to apply this finger, place on, and then try 3 fingers. Okay, so Good luck with that. Howie, nice to see you. Take care. All right, hey Ewing. So, thank you for submitting a question. And your question was basically how to be more dynamic with your playing, which means how can you play a song and make more movement in it, okay, and just understanding that. Basically, when you become more of a sensitive player or a very dynamic player, you're basically playing with more feeling, okay? So it's hard for me to really explain it to you because basically I can say when you strum hard, the sound gets loud. When you strum soft, the sound gets soft. And when you strum soft to loud, it slowly goes like when you strum loud to soft, it slowly comes like this, okay? So I think being a dynamic player is easy to understand, like easy to understand playing with volume and things like that. But I think the more important thing is understanding how to apply it to your music, okay? So basically what I want to say is, imagine if I'm a storyteller. So basically I go to a school, I see all the children and I want to tell them a story. If I say, okay, once upon a time there was a monster who went to a village and he ate all the bunnies, and the bunnies were afraid and they ran away, and then the monster chased him, and this side of the story goes on and on and on. It's going to be a very boring story, okay? But to give it more life, if I went to the school and I said, okay, once upon a time there was a monster, and the monster went to the village to eat all the bunnies, and the bunnies were scared. Okay, so if I say it like that, it's the same story, but I'm giving the story life with my talking, okay? So if you ask me how do I be a better storyteller, it's hard for me to explain and say, change your voice, talk loud or talk soft now, you know? You just have to understand the idea. So when I'm playing a song, maybe I'll come down a little bit. I'm not rushing through the song. I'm not trying to play the song as quickly as I can. I'm just taking my time and I'm just trying to listen to the melody. I'm trying to play it the way that I want to. When you look at a song like Shutdown, the feeling of that song is more high energy, and personally that was a song I wrote when I was a little angry. So, you know, I don't really want to play like, you have to basically feel something with your song. Like when I play this song, I feel like this is how I want people to hear it. This is how I want people to feel when I play this song. But the key is you have to feel that first. That has to come first, and then next, what you have to do is learn how to get your music to follow your feeling. And that's really what dynamics is all about. So I hope that kind of helps. Basically, this question is a very, very advanced question. You know, dynamics, it sounds like such an easy thing to do, but it takes many, many years to practice and study and try to understand. So good luck with that. Woo. Okay, Ivan. So this question is for you. You're asking about scratching. Okay, so first, before we go into scratching, I want you to kind of understand the purpose of the scratch, okay? When I'm strumming, can you listen to this? Notice how the feeling changes. Okay? So the thing is, it's important to understand this because sometimes you can put a scratch in a song where it doesn't belong. And then instead of trying to play a song nicely, like the way that it was supposed to sound or the way that it's supposed to come out, you might think, oh, the scratch is a cool technique and it looks cool, so I want to just keep using it. And then sometimes, you know, the scratch can be placed at wrong time and kind of destroy a song. So I want you to understand that first about the scratch. Okay, now the explanation to a scratch. Basically, I'm using 3 fingers. Okay, so just try this with your ukulele. Okay, but here's the key. The trick is your palm right here. Okay, your palm is going to stick to the strings like this. So you can see it this angle better. Okay, so I'm basically taking the 3 fingers, hitting it, and then opening my hand. Okay. The biggest mistake. It's not 2 motions like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. No matter how fast you do it, it's not gonna work. Okay, 1 motion. 1, 1. Okay, so you can watch closely. Okay, and let me see if I can get some string prints on my hand so you can see where the strings are hitting my skin. Okay, so right about, you see that? Maybe not. Okay, that's right. If you can't see it, it's okay. So this is the scratch, okay? Practice it. The scratch always replaces a down strum. So when you're practicing, just practice scratch. Up, scratch, up, scratch, up, scratch, up. Okay? But remember now, the proper way to strum, use your pointer finger, the back of your hand to strum down, and use your pointer finger, this part of your finger to come up. So when you come up, you have to practice scratch, but still, when you come up properly. Okay? A lot of people, when they learn to scratch, they do this. Scratch, and they use all their fingers and they go like this. Okay? 1 finger, okay? So try to scratch, scratch. Okay, good luck, Ivan. Alright, so this next question is for Xiaoqi. So, anyways, what is the method of efficient practice? Okay, this is a very good question because, you know, I've been teaching for a long time and I do believe that the amount of time you put into your practicing is not even close to as important as the way you practice, okay? Now, the point is when you're practicing, okay, you always have to, when you pick up your ukulele, you have to be able to tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna practice this, or I'm gonna practice this. Even if it's something like, if you're a beginner and you're saying, okay, I'm gonna practice going from G7 to C, quickly. You know, sit down and go G7, C, G7, C, as fast as you can. G7, C, G7, C. If you have a hard time going from G7 to C, and you think about it, and in your head you say, man, if I can go from G7 to C quickly, and you understand that if I can do that quickly, well, I can play so many songs. Because you can play so many songs with just C, F, and G7. Okay? So, it's things like that you have to understand. And when you sit down, you have to be able to tell yourself, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. G7, C, G7, C, G7, C, G7, C. Okay? And when that gets better, you'll improve. And the thing is, to go from G7 to C, you don't need to practice for hours. Just a good exercise, anytime you have a hard time with chords, time yourself for 2 minutes and just go back and forth from the chord you have a difficult time with to the chord either before or after that chord in the song. So I hope that makes sense. But for example, if I'm playing a song and let's say I have a hard time playing a E minor, okay? But the next chord is, let's say, A minor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice A minor, A minor, A minor, A minor, A minor. If you know that you just have to practice these chords going back and forth, then that's all you should practice. It's a waste of time, in my opinion. If you have a hard time going from G7 to C, or C to G7, it's a waste of time to go took, I only practiced going from C to G7 2 times. That's it. I played for about 15 seconds and I only practiced this chord to this chord 2 times, okay? I can have a better practice session if I just go. And it'll get faster, you get better. So I hope that makes sense, but I guess the point is, when you're practicing, always have something in your head and tell yourself, this is what I'm gonna work on, or this is the point to my practice session. And when you have a point, you'll achieve your point, and that will make you better. All right, Kevin, this one's for you. So you're asking about, I guess arrangements and the way you arrange songs and things that I think about, like which key and things like that. Basically, it depends on the range of the song. Okay, so sometimes, like I don't really want to play so many notes way up here, because as you play notes up here, you kind of lose a lot of the sustain, right? You see how quickly this dies out versus, or okay. So depending on the range of the song, you want to make sure you're in a comfortable place, and that also depends on the song you're going to play, and it also depends on the way you want it to come out and the way you want it to feel. But basically, that's about all I really think about, is just the range of the song and which area of the ukulele I'm going to be mainly playing in. Another thing too is like chords, right? Like key of maybe C. If you C, key of C, you're going to have a lot of open strings. Okay? Key of G will give you a lot of open strings. If you play in the key of like B or C sharp or E or E flat, you're gonna have to use a lot of bar chords. Okay. Now bar chords are okay, but you have to remember, with bar chords, you don't get the same sustain that you do with open strings. Okay. So for example, my C chord, this will ring out a lot longer than this C chord. This will die faster. Right? Okay. So that's kind of what I think that you should really focus on with arrangement. Think about the chords you're going to have to use, but for the melody, think about the range and try to figure out where on the ukulele you want to play the song. And that's pretty much it. More advanced arrangement techniques are talking about chord voicings, which C chord to use, maybe a C major 7 might be more appropriate, things like that. But that's more, you gotta try it, you gotta learn it on your own. I can guide you, but not today. All right, Kevin. All right, this question is for Cindy and Yalin. So you guys asked 2 kind of similar questions. So basically it's about where is a good place to learn how to play the ukulele, somewhere that can cover from I guess the beginner level all the way to more advanced level. There's a school that's going to be opening up. I heard it's pretty awesome, but I can't remember the name of it. It was something like, I don't think it was called the Bruce Shimabukuro School. It could have been Awesome School. Can't quite remember the name. But anyways, I'm just kidding. But yes, I will be opening up my own ukulele school here in Taiwan. And basically, I'm offering to teach the same way that I learned as a kid in Hawaii. And the thing is, we cover everything from the beginning level, from how to hold a ukulele, how to pick, how to strum, just the basic things. And then of course, you advance to more higher techniques. But the point of the school though actually is, the key for me was enjoying the instrument and having fun. And that's kind of what the school is really all about. And then of course, the structure of the school, the how to pick, how to strum and all of that, all the technical stuff, it'll all be there. So if you're interested, you can check it out. And the website is either on the top of the screen or the bottom or maybe in the middle. I'm not too sure, I can't see it, but I think it's there. So you can check out the website, and I hope that helps. Good luck, you guys. Thank you very much. Take care. Aloha. Hey, how's it going? I'm Bruce Shimabukuro, and I'm here to proudly announce the opening of my new ukulele school here in Taiwan. I'm very excited. We're going to cover everything from the beginner level all the way to the advanced. So if you guys are interested, you can check out ukeleletaiwan.com. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. I look forward to seeing you guys later. Take care. Aloha. Oh.